Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this new video. In today's video, we will discuss about sprint retrospective and agile scrum process. We will understand what is retrospective meeting, what is the purpose of retrospective meeting, how it can be conducted. We will discuss about some simple techniques to conduct this meeting in an effective manner. So, welcome to this new video. Let's start. So, what is a sprint retrospective meeting? So, as the name suggests, purpose of retrospective meeting in Scrum process is to inspect and adapt based on learnings from the last completed sprint. So, the whole idea about the agile process or the Scrum process is like we learn uh, from what we have done so far. We keep improving, and that's the beauty about the agile Scrum process because it gives you an opportunity to adapt. Uh, if there is any shortcomings in the last conducted sprint, there is a chance for the team to look back and see what can be done differently. Second point is it happens on the last day of a sprint after a sprint review meeting. So we will discuss in a separate video on the sprint review meeting, and the whole idea about a sprint review meeting is that the team demonstrate what they have done and the product owner accepts the work done in the form of user stories. So retrospective is conducted after a sprint review meeting has been completed, and like I mentioned, like it happens on the last day of a sprint. The third point is the whole team joins it and each member shares his views, his ideas, his thoughts on the last conducted or last completed sprint in a format or technique as suggested by the scrum master or coach. Now, how we can do the retrospective meeting? So one of the simple way of conducting retrospective, or one of the most popular ways to list these 3 points, like what are the positives from the last sprint, what areas as a team we have to improve, and what are the action plan for the identified areas of improvements. So this is just an example in a tabular format, like we can list the members name. If a 6-member team or 7 members team, then each team member has to speak about what he or she feels about the positives from the last sprint, what are the areas from their point of view that as a team they need to improve, and the action plan. And as a scrum master, they need to ensure that everyone has a chance to speak about the feedback on the last sprint in the agreed format. So this is an example where team member, let's say A, is saying that okay, from a positive perspective, the good teamwork was there, requirements were more detailed, elaborated. From the improvement perspective, he's saying that estimations needs to improve. So what could be the action plan? So I mean, as a team, they have identified that involve all members in the story estimation. So it is not like just a couple of senior members, or they are only sharing the views on the estimation, or they are coming up with the estimation. So the whole team involvement is required. And the second point is use of spike task for further clarity. So if there is any user story, any requirement which cannot be upfront estimated by the team, then they can use the spike task for that, a kind of a POC or research task. So that gives them more clarity, that gives them ample time to come up with the right sort of estimations. Team member B is saying from a positive perspective, collaboration with product owner was good, requirements queries were clarified in a timely manner. And from areas of improvement perspective, team member B is saying that raising impediments during daily stand-up. So that's what I mean. He has identified that not everyone is raising the impediments or blockers in a daily stand-up call. So action plan perspective, member need to be more transparent. That simply means as a scrum coach or as a team, we need to develop the agile mindset so that everyone understand that if we are conducting a certain meeting, or what is the role and what's the agile mindset all about, what's the team commitment all about. There is a second technique as well, which is also, I mean, just to give the team a different perspective. This technique is called 4L technique because it is based on 4L. And the first L is what is liked, learned, lacked, and longed for. So the first L simply means, as a team member, what is it that you liked about the last sprint? Like means, whatever the good work team has done. What we learned from the last sprint, what are the learnings, what as a team we lacked. I mean, these are the areas to improve, and what we longed for, like wish it was there. I mean, let's say our team thought, okay, wish I could have used that tool or something like that. So this is another form of getting the ideas or getting the views from the team in the form of 4L technique. So let's see its one of example. So this is just an example format. Again, we are taking an example of two team members A and B, and there is a column like liked, learned, lacked, and longed for. So team member A is saying that he liked the team's commitment. From a learning perspective, he is saying that the DB service module can be further optimized. That's what he has learned. And from a lacking perspective, he's saying that acceptance criteria was not detailed for some of the user stories. So that's a point for product owner. What longed for, he's saying that test automation tool could be used. We need shorter technical meetings just to save teams time. Team member B is saying UI issue was promptly fixed. Usage of Jira tool for task updates, that has been the learning. UI prototype was not available initially. So again, that's the feedback for the requirements team, for the PO and his team members, that everything in terms of requirement prototypes needs to be, or a wireframe needs to be provided in a timely manner. And longed for, each team member should own the build failures. So it's not responsibility of just one member to look at the builds and then say, okay, it is failing, and then I will go ahead and correct it. So in an agile scrum process, the whole team owns the build success or the build failure. So I hope you liked this short video on the sprint retrospective in agile scrum process. I mean, we learned like what the retrospective is all about. What are the two simple techniques to conduct the retrospective meeting? So thank you everyone. Thank you for watching this brief video, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Thank you.